Mrs. Nelson, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
We are live.
Thank you. So to begin, I would like to call this meeting of the Board of Education to order. The next regular meeting of the Darien Board of Education is on Tuesday, June 23 at 7:30 p.m. May I make a motion to appoint Greg Grambling, Vice Chairperson, to facilitate tonight's meeting? May I have a motion? That is Dennis, seconded by Joanna. All in favor? That is unanimous. Greg, you are moderator for the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. No chairperson's report this evening, outside of apparently the vice chair is a fast driver, as I got here the quickest from the high school retirement celebration. So with that, I'll turn it to public comment.
Good evening. If anyone would like to participate in public comment, please approach the podium and wait to be recognized. Once recognized, please state your name and town of residence for the record and note that you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment. We have no public comment at this time.
Great. We'll move to the superintendent's report.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us for the June 9th Board of Education meeting. This evening, we had the honor of hosting our annual retirement ceremony, where we officially celebrated several of our dedicated staff members who are embarking on their next chapters. To all of our retirees, thank you for your collective decades of service, your unwavering commitment to our students, and the lasting legacy you leave behind in our schools. While we will deeply miss your presence in our buildings, we wish you nothing but joy, health, and fulfillment in your well-deserved retirement. Thank you to the members of the board who were able to attend this afternoon's retirement ceremony as well. Tonight is our senior student representative, Ryan Lombardi's final board meeting. I want to take a moment to publicly thank him for his outstanding service. Ryan, for the past 2 years, you've been a vital voice for our student body and have given the administration and board invaluable perspective. We congratulate you on your graduation, and as you head off to Villanova University this fall, remember that no matter how far you go or how bright your future is as a Wildcat, you will always be part of the Blue Wave. Thank you for your leadership, Ryan, and we wish you the absolute best of luck.
Yeah, I guess if I can just say a couple words, I guess it's a thank you to you all after you gave thanks to me, but in a district that's very passionate and proud of their academics and education, I think there's no one else that I would rather have on this board leading this academic system besides you guys. You guys have done amazing. Every decision you guys make, every ruling you guys do, it's for the betterment of our students, of our faculty. We work to better each student, allow them to achieve their full potential, whether they're in kindergarten, whether in 12th grade, it does not matter. There's just a lot of reasons. I'll close it off with this. I don't want to take too much of your time, but there's a lot of reasons why Darien is highly regarded. But, I think the work that our academic system does, and especially that you guys do here on this board right here, I think that's one of the main reasons why this town is so amazing, and so great, and so many people want to come here.
Thank you, Ryan, and congratulations. And finally, tonight, we have the privilege of presenting the annual Superintendent's Awards to 8 outstanding students in grades 5, 8, and 12 as the first presentation of tonight's meeting. These individuals personify our district mission statement, standing out as critical thinkers, innovative creators, and leaders who contribute to our world with integrity and purpose. It is a true testament to the character that these recipients were first nominated by their own peers and then selected by faculty at their respective schools. To earn the respect and admiration of both classmates and teachers alike is a magnificent achievement. During tonight's ceremony, our building principals will present a framed certificate to their school's recipient and share a brief biography of their accomplishments. Please join me in congratulating these 8 remarkable students on this well-deserved recognition. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Eric. We'll go back to Ryan and Kylie for the student reps report.
Yeah, nothing much left with the school year coming to a close. But our girls lacrosse team actually just now won their state semifinal game against Conrad. So hoping for a big win. I think it is at the end of the week on Friday or Saturday. where they'll obviously play in their final game. And also congratulations to junior Vivian Knott for winning Gatorade Player of the Year in Connecticut softball. And one thing I found very shocking was that she had a lower ERA than her batting average, which for any of you that don't know baseball or softball is insane.
Yeah, there's not much more than that. It's almost the end of the school year, as Ryan said. There's about 2 weeks left. For Theater 308, the Broadway brunch is this Sunday at Antonio's, so you should all go if you want to see some great performances. And then it's finals week. We have our first review day tomorrow and the first round of exams on Thursday and Friday. So wish every student luck, please.
Excellent. Thank you. Next up, we'll go with our Superintendent's Award, starting with Hinley Principal, Mr. Ross Cooper, who will present Hinley's Superintendent Award recipient.
All right, thank you very much. Should the student come up?
Yep.
All right. So may I present to you Miss Olivia Sun? She is the daughter of Shaquan Sun and Shochin Tien from Miss Emerson's 5th grade class. It is truly an honor to introduce the Hinley School recipient of the Superintendent Citizenship Award, Olivia Sun. Olivia was selected by her 5th grade teacher to become a Gold Key member, a role that requires a responsibility, trustworthiness, and leadership. Her duties include picking up attendances and lunch counts and delivering messages and important items throughout the school, all while balancing her classroom responsibilities with maturity and dedication. She was chosen because she is a diligent worker who can handle additional duties and always returns ready to complete any missed work with care and determination. Olivia's talents extend far beyond the classroom. She is a member of both orchestra and chorus, and this spring she was selected to perform a solo at the spring concert, an honor that reflects both her talent and confidence. She is also an incredibly gifted artist and writer. This year, we were so honored to have Olivia create the beautiful program cover for our Veterans Day share. Her creativity and attention to detail made the program truly special. In writing, Olivia has a natural gift for storytelling. She creates vivid, thoughtful stories that invite readers directly into the world that she imagines. Olivia is always willing to lend a hand wherever she is needed. She was selected by our PE teacher to be a field day helper to aid and support our primary grades for this event. Most importantly, Olivia lives the Hinley School Kids Code each and every single day. She is kind, respectful, responsible, and compassionate. She is a loyal friend, an upstander, and someone others look up to. Olivia truly represents the attributes of the Darien Public Schools vision of the graduate, and we are so proud of the example she sets for others. Olivia, we are incredibly grateful for the positive impact you have made on our school community. Hinley School is so proud of you. Congratulations on receiving the Superintendent's Citizenship Award. Remember, once a Husky, always a Husky.
Next up, we've got Holmes Principal Mrs. Bleakley, who will present Holmes Superintendent Award recipient.
Good evening, everyone, and I'd like to present Thomas Fish to all of you. Tommy is a thoughtful, curious student who likes to learn new things. He's creative in his approach to both academic and non-academic tasks, and he understands that success comes from thinking critically and working hard. His teacher, Mrs. Costanza, shares that he approaches challenges with grit and resilience, never allowing frustration to stop him from trying something over again or looking for an alternate, more innovative solution. Instead of giving up when things become difficult, Mrs. Costanza shared that Tommy views mistakes as opportunities to learn. At these times, he pushes himself to reflect on what he's tried, adjust his approach as necessary, and work toward a different or better solution. This growth mindset has led to much success for Tommy, especially in areas that began as challenges. His positive attitude has been noticed by his peers and often serves to motivate them to persevere as well. His innate curiosity and exceptional work ethic are truly inspirational. Additionally, Tommy is a person who leads with integrity and kindness. His calm, grounded presence brings out the best in those around him. He listens carefully to others. He thinks deeply about what they have to say. He weighs any next steps against his own strong moral compass and regularly chooses to do the right thing, all while showing compassion and respect to everyone. Mrs. Costanza also shared an example of Tommy's leadership with me. She stated, recently, Tommy became table partners with a friend in our class. This friend sometimes finds it challenging to remain focused on his work. But simply sitting with him and offering encouragement, Tommy's calm demeanor, strong work ethic, and respectful behavior influenced this student's performance. Simply modeling after Tommy has helped this student, who now works hard to stay focused, remain on task, and match Tommy's positive example throughout the day. Tommy, your character, thoughtfulness, and actions, your desire to help others in meaningful ways, and your belief in doing the right thing make you a truly exceptional fifth grader. Our world needs more people like you. We are incredibly proud of the person that you are and of all that you've accomplished in your time at home school. We're confident that the future holds great things for you. Congratulations on representing home school for this year's Superintendent's Award. And if it's okay, I'd like to acknowledge Tommy's twin sister, Campbell, who also received recognition from her class for this award. So, congratulations.
Great work. Next up is Ox Ridge. Principal Malillo, you can make your way to the podium.
It's my privilege to introduce and recognize Amy Wyson. Amy exemplifies the qualities this award is intended to recognize. She's an exceptional student whose academic accomplishments are matched by her character, leadership, and commitment to helping others. Amy approaches every challenge with enthusiasm and determination, and she consistently strives to do her very best both inside and outside the classroom. Beyond her academic achievements, Amy's a dedicated athlete. She plays hockey for the Darien Ice Cats and competes in Darien travel soccer. And whether she's on the ice or on the soccer field or in the classroom, Amy demonstrates perseverance, teamwork, and sportsmanship. She is the type of teammate and classmate who elevates those around her. Amy's also a talented and creative thinker. She enjoys drawing, art, and creating new things, and she brings a unique perspective to everything that she does. She's thoughtful, reflective, and always willing to share her ideas in respectful and meaningful ways. Her teachers admire her curiosity, while her classmates appreciate her kindness, honesty, and willingness to help others. Amy looks up to her family, including her brother, mom, and dad. And inspired by her desire to help others, Amy hopes to someday become a teacher or perhaps a nurse. Both aspirations reflect the caring and compassionate nature that defines who she is. Amy's work ethic and creativity and genuine concern for others make her an exceptional representative of Ox Ridge School. And please join me in congratulating Amy on this well-deserved honor.
Congratulations, Amy. Next up, we have Royal Principal Tori. You can come up to the podium.
Good evening, everyone. Congratulations to Liam Bell for being selected as this year's Superintendent's Award recipient from Royal School. Liam was nominated by his peers and selected by our faculty and staff for consistently demonstrating the qualities of a compassionate leader, thoughtful learner, and outstanding citizen. This honor reflects the positive impact he has made throughout his elementary school years and the respect he has earned from those around him. Liam is deeply admired by his classmates and teachers for his kindness, warmth, empathy, and integrity. He consistently demonstrates respect for others and approaches every interaction with sincerity and care. Whether speaking with adults or peers, Liam communicates thoughtfully and confidently, serving as a positive role model within the Royal community. We are thrilled that he is representing his 5th grade class and his fellow Royal nominees with such distinction. One of the most remarkable aspects of Liam's nomination was the heartfelt essay he submitted as part of the selection process. Rather than focusing on his own accomplishments, Liam chose to write a letter expressing gratitude to the faculty and staff members who have supported, encouraged, and influenced him throughout his journey at Royal. His words reflected a maturity and perspective well beyond his years and demonstrated the deep appreciation he has for the people who have helped shape him. A particularly memorable moment from Liam's speech captured the essence of who he is. He shared, "I don't think kindness should ever really be a contest because every single one of you deserves to be celebrated too." He went on to explain that everyone possesses kindness, creativity, intelligence, and empathy, and that people simply express those qualities in different ways. This message of humility, inclusivity, and respect resonated deeply with everyone in the room and serves as a powerful example of Liam's character. Liam is an engaged and enthusiastic learner who embraces opportunities to challenge himself academically and personally. He participates in IDEA, Royal's gifted program, serves as a Royal ambassador, is an active member of student council, and plays in the orchestra. In each of these roles, Liam contributes positively, leads by example, and demonstrates a genuine commitment to his school community. Liam's parents, Ingrid and William, have been wonderful partners throughout his educational journey. Their support, encouragement, and guidance are clearly reflected in the thoughtful, compassionate, and grounded young man Liam has become. Thank you for sharing Liam with us and for helping nurture the qualities that make him so deserving of this recognition. Thank you for the opportunity to recognize Liam tonight. His intelligence, integrity, empathy, and humility have made a lasting impact on the Royal community. We are proud to welcome Liam into the distinguished group of past Superintendent's Awards recipients, and we know he will continue to make a positive difference in middle school and beyond. Congratulations, Liam.
Great job, Liam. Up next, we've got Tokenique, Principal Betts. Come on up.
All right, good evening, members of the board, Dr. Byrne, families, and guests. It is my pleasure to stand before you tonight to celebrate Tokenique School's recipient of the Superintendent Award, Frankie Martin. This award recognizes students who exhibit a love of learning, think critically, create innovatively, and contribute to the world with integrity. And Frankie embodies these values in everything she does. For Frankie, school is a place of genuine joy. She loves math and science, and not just for the satisfaction of finding the correct answer, but because she recognizes their potential to improve people's quality of life. Frankie is also a gifted creator. As a 3-time participant in the Young Composers Program, she channels her thoughts and emotions into songwriting. Her original song, Holding Hands, She shares a message of comfort and hope, using her music as a purposeful way to give back to the community around her. That same focus and open heart extend to the athletic fields. Whether she's playing lacrosse, field hockey, squash, or tennis, Frankie is known for her strong work ethic. She has fully embraced the mindset, you win or you learn, choosing to view every challenge as an opportunity to grow while always remaining a supportive teammate. What truly defines Frankie, however, is her commitment to others. She lives by a quote from former Darien lacrosse player Chloe Humphrey. Your normal day is someone else's dream. So do it tired, do it scared, do it unmotivated, do it sad. Frankie has taken this to heart, deciding that no matter how she is feeling on a given day, she will always try her best to choose kindness, to be there for others. To Frankie, kindness is an unregrettable decision. We see this in her extensive community service. She's volunteered at the Darien Museum, served on the student council, organizing food drives and childhood cancer fundraisers, and assisted at Tokenique with campus safety and school events. Yet her integrity shines brightest in the quiet, everyday moments. Frankie is the student who notices a classmate sitting alone at lunch or standing by themselves at recess and immediately invites them to join her. She models grace and empathy by firmly believing in second chances, reminding us all that you never truly know what someone else might be going through. Frankie is a dedicated student, a resilient athlete, and a deeply compassionate peer. She represents the very best of our school community, and we are incredibly proud of her. Congratulations, Frankie.
Amazing work. Next up, we've got Middlesex Middle School, Principal Demoulas.
While our superintendent's award is bestowed by our honorable superintendent, it begins with a nomination by one's peers. And I think it's worth noting that middle school is a particularly awkward time of one's life. I believe we all know. And it's a time in which, as grownups, we reflect back on the journey into discovering who we will become and the kind of learner and the kind of person. And Lucian, one of the ways that you have stood out to your peers and to your teachers, which I think is reflected in their nomination and then in their selection of you, is for moving through your 3 years of MMS with integrity and dignity and diligence and patience. And when I asked your teachers about you, one of them said, perfect. I'd like to have 20 of Lucian, every room. Another said, you are known for having emotional intelligence beyond your years and a maturity that inspires others to do well. You are respected by your peers as an outstanding student across geometry and Mandarin and IDEA and band, and your contributions to the Middlesex Quiz Bowl team have established you as an admired leader. A coach recently remarked to me that Lucian is a literature guru, the kind of guy who makes learning cool. Classroom teachers agree, noting your patience, your collaboration, and your reliable, meaningful contributions. Lucian, in your 3 years at Middlesex Middle School, your positive attitude, your courteous behavior, and your leadership have made our school a better place. We're proud of you, and we're grateful for you. And we cannot wait to hear about the wonderful things you accomplish and contribute in the high school. With honor and gratitude, we celebrate you and your accomplishments tonight as our Citizenship Award winner. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Lucian. Our final Superintendent Award recipient for the evening is Darien High School. Principal Dunn.
Thank you. Milana and Luca, please step forward. Milana's intellectual curiosity, creative spirit, and deep empathy are hallmarks that define her and the contribution she has made to the Darien High School community over the last 4 years. Throughout her high school journey, Milana has showcased her commitment to excellence, consistently pushing the boundaries of what is expected while nurturing her connection to the people and world around her. She embraced the most challenging courses, driven by a genuine passion for learning and self-discovery. Never one to be content with shortcuts, Milana is inspired by the active pursuit of personal growth, which demands perseverance and has reaped rewards in the form of academic success and accolades in the fields of art, creative writing, and film production. Finding joy in the unexpected, her adventurous spirit and whimsical nature are evident as she explores forest trails, embodies the character of Abigail Williams in The Crucible, or immerses herself in the world of imagination. Her empathy and kindness and compassion are seen every day in her interactions with peers and faculty, and she is driven by the desire to make a difference, transforming intent into action by founding the inclusive and ever-expanding Poetry Club, or raising funds for the people of Ukraine, a cause so close to her heart. Her blend of academic excellence, artistry, and humanity has changed the Darien High School community in ways seen and unseen. These traits, along with her capacity for the pursuit of ideas and her limitless creativity, guarantee that her legacy will endure. Milana is an exceptional young woman who has been recognized for this award by her whole school community because of who she is and who she is destined to become. We are so proud of you, Milana, and Princeton University will surely be a better place because of your contributions. Congratulations, hon. Luca's kind heart, collaborative nature, and intellectual curiosity define him and set him apart. He extends himself to others, fostering a sense of belonging, and his easygoing nature, inviting smile, engaging energy, and compassionate spirit forge his strong connection to students and teachers alike. As president of the National Honor Society at DHS, Luca is a mentor to others and an example of a life founded in the 4 pillars of scholarship, service, leadership, and character. Luca has mastered balancing rigorous academic exploration with diverse interests and a demanding extracurricular schedule. As the organizer of his high school string trio, Luca's leadership is evident, coordinating rehearsal sessions and curating performance pieces. His contributions extend well beyond logistics, as he fosters a deep sense of community, beautifully reflected in their inspiring performances and the joy they elicit. Luca can be found late at night, providing counsel to friends on the virtues of advanced level mathematics, sharing his expertise with those who are mystified by its complexity, and revealing his generosity. Luca's innate curiosity inspires his pursuit of diverse opportunities that reveal his independence of thought and action, including interning as a cellist with the Norwalk Symphony Orchestra, establishing his own power washing company, independently studying economics, and delivering a moving speech honoring our veterans at the annual assembly at DHS. Luca has excelled in every arena and has done so with humility and grace. As salutatorian of the class of 2026, it is clear that he is an outstanding intellect, evidenced by this award, from the entire school. He is equally admired for who he is as a person. Luca, you will be missed in the halls, in the classrooms, and on the stage at DHS. Amherst College has hit the jackpot. Congratulations. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait to see you.
Do everyone come up and we can do a picture with all the award recipients.
Does the students come up, you don't have to bring your phone. We'll put a little label on. All close to that.
All right. Congrats to all the recipients. What an amazing crew. Really impressive stuff. Luca, I've heard of this power washing company. This is really good stuff. Before we move on with the rest of the program, we will, if we have other topics, you are all welcome to stay. If you do not want to stay, maybe we'll just give a minute and folks who do not want to attend the rest of the board presentation and meeting can step out. Okay, our next agenda item is Darien High School internships. And we have Mrs. Ellen Dunn.
Good evening. I'm going to invite my seniors up here too. We are here to just give you an update as we do at this time every year on the senior internship. Our students.
We should check your mic there.
Where's my technology? It's on. We are happy to have a few of our seniors here to give you the real life version of what senior internship is like. We are proud to have participated in the senior internship for well over 15 years. Our internship begins right after the senior prom and AP exams are over and kicks off about a 4-week period typically for our students to jump into a variety of different experiences, careers, and it really is a lovely culmination of their time with us in the Darien Public Schools and an expression of the vision of the graduate in many ways. We're asking for them to apply themselves in different settings with different people. They get experiences that enrich them, maybe motivate them towards different careers. Maybe they learn that there's a career that they thought they were headed in a certain direction, and that direction may shift as a result of this experience. Many tell us that they acquire summer work from this experience and that they spend many summers working with the companies that they work with in these 4 weeks. I have no idea what these 3 students are going to talk about tonight, which is always the best way to approach it because they, I'm sure, are having really wonderful experiences. I was at the ABC House a couple of weeks ago for a picnic, and one of our scholars there talked about being in the operating room for a C-section that morning. So there's a wide variety of experiences going on, and our students, I think, are inspired by this time. And they've worked very hard for many years getting to this point. And so this period of time is a lovely time for them. The process itself has been well established. They seek out internships. We have wonderful relationships with many of the businesses in the community and beyond. Those relationships are sustained from year to year because of the good experiences that our businesses, both locally and outside of Darien, have had with our students. They work 30 hours a week. They have varied hours depending on the nature of the work. They keep journals. They interact with their teachers at school. Their teachers, if it's close enough, will make a site visit to see them in action. And then they build towards a presentation that they will make next week as the culmination of their experience. Hopefully you'll be able to see this in the documents that you have. There are so many businesses. They're very tiny here on the slides, but we wanted to make sure that we put up the many organizations that have generously supported this work and our students. And we have more and more businesses that reach out to us to say, we really would like an intern. Do you have an intern who is willing to join us? So it is it's a great experience for our local businesses as well. And here you see some of the comments from our students and faculty about how rewarding the time has been, both as a faculty member and as a student. So I will pass the mic down the table here and you guys can talk a little bit about what it's been like for you.
Yeah, so I guess I'll start off with like an introduction of what I've been doing. I've been shadowing a chief compliance officer at a mutual fund for the past 3.5 weeks now. And it's been very helpful, going into college, a lot of students, they don't know what they want pursued. They don't know what they may be interested with, with how much our school may offer. There's a lot of real world topics that they might not truly understand yet and truly might not know what they want to go into. But for this experience, I think it's been very helpful for allowing me to understand what I want to pursue, a career in finance, career in business, and also learn about a lot of the nuances in the real world that you can't get from a classroom, learning how people communicate in the real world office day to day, how people have to organize their time, budget their resources that you can't learn in a high school, in a 6-hour school day, that you can only really learn from someone that's been through that, has had that experience. And I think that's been very beneficial. And, I don't think that this is something that should be taken for granted. I think this is something that is very helpful to our students and also allows them to build connections for their future. Actually, I was meeting with my site advisor today, and she was so intrigued by my internship today that she wanted me to sort of explain it to her, give her some contacts because she wanted her son to sort of go into something that I was learning. So that was kind of cool experience to have. But yeah, I think it's been very helpful and pretty much building off everything Mrs. Dunn has said. So.
I've been interning at the Acting Gym, which it's a pre-professional film training program. It's based in both Westport and New York. And recently they moved some of the classes over to Darien, so saved me a bit of commuting time. But the general gist of this program, its mission is to really build the future of filmmaking. So throughout the year, there's different classes that we take and we work with. I've been lucky to be part of this program as a student for 4 years, and now I'm learning more the behind the scenes as an intern. And every summer for about 3 weeks straight, 12 hours a day, we work on shooting and filming one feature film, full length, usually about 90 minutes to 2 hours, and usually about 10 short films, which are great for any filmmaker's portfolio. And so my work as an intern, I've been doing a lot of planning for this year's summer film program and wrapping up any loose ends from the last year. Definitely a highlight of my internship was the premiere that we recently had at the Darien Arts Center. This was a couple of weeks ago. We showcased all of the films that we had worked on the past year, and it was wonderful inviting everyone over. I'd spent the week prior to that rewatching and editing those films for many hours a day. So it was really enjoyable to see everything come together. And more recently, I've been working with the writing team for this year's feature film program. We're adapting Much Ado About Nothing by William Shakespeare into a modern high school adaptation, which is really exciting. So I've been working on writing with that. I'm really interested in screenwriting and directing, so that's been amazing. We also recently this weekend shot 3 micro shorts. These are just 2-minute short films. And this has been a really great opportunity for me to learn more about filmmaking as someone who's an aspiring filmmaker. I'm definitely going to continue this work going on. They extend to middle school, high school, undergraduate, and they hire a few graduate students as well. So it's a really all-encompassing program, and I'm very fortunate to learn more about the nuances of how communication goes out and how programs like this build the future of filmmaking.
Hi, I'm actually interning right across the street at the Darien Sports Shop. Yeah, and I was really interested in just seeing how a local business and really a business that's kind of symbolic of Darien runs. I think this year is their 80th anniversary, so it's a big year. And yeah, I've been really grateful to just pretty much do everything. I've taken on multiple job titles. I think inventory stalker, sales associate, cashier, and then today I became a gift wrapper. Which was hard to gift wrap under pressure. But no, it's been a really good experience because I'm pretty much thrown out there, told to talk to people, not only the people that I work with, but also with the customers. And I think that's what I'm going as the most important part of interning for me is just connecting with the people that I wouldn't ordinarily talk to. Of course, I've met a lot of really good people working at the sports shop, but also I've met the parents of a classmate, the grandparents of a classmate, the friends of a grandparent of a classmate. And I even saw my dental surgeon. But it's all these little connections that I think matter in a professional setting. And you're always introducing yourself, you're always talking to people, and that sort of soft, emotional, and conversational skills, I think really can apply to a whole host of jobs that I might be interested in. It's also made me reconsider taking a client-facing job because they're quite stressful. But I do still enjoy talking to the customers at the sports shop. Again, meeting a lot of great people. But yeah, it's been really interesting to see the soft and little emotional skills that can be applied and also what to maybe avoid in the future. So yeah.
Thank you. We thank you for your continued support of the program, and we are looking forward to hearing about all of their adventures in the internship fair next week. Thank you.
Thank you all. I mean, it's a really incredible program and obviously a great chance for students to get real world experience at an early age and showcase some of the skills that they've learned here in the Darien public school system. So great work to all of you. Any feedback or thoughts from the board? Bill?
For Ryan, where did you do your internship? Was that in Sydney or in Boston?
So my mentor, he lives in Madison, Connecticut. I stayed down with my grandparents who live down there most of the week. Today, I obviously had to come back for the meeting today, but yeah, most of the week I'm down at his house. He's also between there and Miami right now because they're working on expanding business into Asia, which is the project that he's giving me to also write a memo on. But yeah, I've pretty much been working with him at his house for the past 3 weeks.
And for Milana and Luca, how did you connect with your intern companies? I think, like, what made you I think for you, I can imagine, Milana, that it was a good fit.
Definitely.
But did you know about them before you took the internship?
Yes. So I've been part of this
program as a student for 4 years, and now I'm working as an intern. It's also partially a management company for actors, so I'm learning about that as well. But yeah, I discovered them end of middle school, and I've been working with them ever since, and it's been really great.
And how about you?
Yeah, so I guess what attracted me is because I just grew up shopping there. It's where I bought my first lacrosse helmet when that was a dream of mine. And so that connected me. And I always knew I wanted to be with a local business rather than something more distant and more larger, because again, I really care about those connections with people who live nearby. So
That's
that's,
great.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Any other thoughts? Thought.
Do we know how many high schools do an internship program in Connecticut or in around, or is that a commonplace or?
It's pretty commonplace in this region at this point in Connecticut and Westchester County. I'd say so.
That's a
could
great
certainly
program.
put
Can't
some
say more about it.
surveying out with local districts to see.
Excellent. If nothing else, thank you all.
Thank you.
Next up, we've got our 5-year technology plan with Mr. McGuire.
The remote's right there, Tim, on the table.
Good evening. I'm Tim McGuire, your school district's instructional technology coordinator. And I'm here tonight to prevent technology use. No, I'm here tonight to introduce and highlight you to our next 5-year technology plan. This is the sequel to the previous 3-year Future Ready technology plan. And I think what I need to do is start with an apology, because Dr. Byrne approached me way back in the fall and he said, can you work on building a new technology plan, but keep it to 1 page? I kind of failed at that. It's a few more pages longer than that, but that is partly because technology is so integral to our school district in all the roles and all the functions that we have. So with that, let's see if I got the clicker working here. Technology is in service of our vision of the graduate, and we do have 6 competencies. The purpose of this slide tonight is to let you know that technology has the role of supporting the development and application of those competencies. This slide points to a few connections from the new technology plan to our vision of our graduate. And as we started to build the plan, one of the early actions taken, which involved a number of staff from around the district, administrators, teachers, was to identify 4 guiding principles: purpose-driven learning, research-based practice, protection, and efficiency and fiscal responsibility. So as we developed what you'll see in a moment, some of the 3 goal areas and the action steps, we kept looking back to make sure that we're supporting those principles. So this plan features just 3 goal areas. Goal 1 is connected to teaching and learning, which is intentionally placed at the top. Technologies should support quality teaching, which leads to strong learning. Goal 2 is centered on supporting our infrastructure and operating efficiency. And third, we continue our practices of data privacy and security, promoting strong, security-minded technology use. Those 3 goal areas led to 20 focus topics, which we believe do move our district forward. Not featured tonight, but part of the reason the document's more than a page, there are 2 appendices. I encourage you to reference them when you have the opportunity to do so. One further elaborates on each focus area, and the other provides a picture of the work over time and what I call a heat map. It's hoped that this simplified approach is clearer and easier to implement. The document is not intended to live separately, but it's going to be integrated within the work of the upcoming next strategic plan. And speaking of the work, there are 4 pressing key focus areas that are addressed in the plan, but also the work has been ongoing this school year as well. And I want to talk a little bit about that work, highlight these areas, and again, keeping in mind, we have a lot more in stock. So we have been revisiting the one-to-one student device model. My next slide has more information on this particular topic, so I'll get to that in a moment. Darien has been lucky that we have avoided major cybersecurity incidents, knock on wood that continues in our favor, but to better protect our younger learners, we are changing the filtering protocol to match what a number of classroom teachers are already doing with Securely. So elementary students will only be able to have access to resources that are directly named in our data privacy compliance list. I call this a walled garden approach, but others may know it as a whitelisting approach. On the communications front, we are sunsetting School Messenger and adopting Parent Square. This will support our district's communication initiatives and ensure we're compliant with federal law regarding accessibility and communications. Over the past school year, we have researched and reviewed a number of different options to better support data analysis and manage our multi-tiered system of supports. So we are now in the early stages of transitioning out of our old product, which was labor intensive, to a new company and product called EduClimber. So before I go on, I wanted to say all 4 of these are important and also tremendous lifts for the technology department, who have a very full plate. So thank you to Jeff and his team for the work they're doing. They're really the ones that are helping make a lot of this happen. So speaking of that first focus area I mentioned, on the last slide, we are adjusting our approach to student device deployment in kindergarten through 8th grade. Lower elementary school is going to shift from the current 1-to-1 tablet available in each classroom to 6 dedicated tablets per classroom, supported by a grade level cart that's available when needed for larger projects and assessments. Chromebook carts are going to continue to be available in upper elementary classrooms, but 5th grade students will no longer take devices home at the end of the school day. Middle school students will be transitioning away from the current 1-to-1 take-home model to a Chromebook stored at school model on carts. So and these changes are designed to help ensure that technology remains a purposeful tool for learning and supporting our students' healthy digital habits. I believe that reducing the leisure time to access on school devices outside of school hours will improve the day-to-day device readiness in school, reducing our breakage, and also strengthening our ability to prepare or to safeguard student data. All the, sorry, well, I haven't finished, but I'm almost there. So these are the outcomes I hope for the change in this practice. All right, so I only have one more slide, right? Okay, so I do hope you found this very brief. I was intended to keep this as brief as possible, introduction to the plan and highlights of some of the current work. Thank you for allowing me to share this. And if you have questions, I'll do the best I can to address them.
I just have, Tim, if you could go a little deeper on the walled garden approach, would that be the same as what some folks refer to as allow only?
Yes.
Meaning the devices, the network can't go anywhere other than what is already approved by the district?
Right. So I want to stress that currently all student devices are well filtered and there's a lot of good prevention in place. But there is a new approach to the system. Each application the students access on the web will have to be pre-vetted for student data privacy compliance. So it's basically that it's an allow only list.
Great, thank you.
Before I open up to board member questions, yeah, I think these are welcome changes that I know we've been talking about for a long time. So great work. I also would make a comment. I can't remember if you were here after we did the visits to the schools and the tours of the schools, but this is, the technology piece in the schools and the student facing technology piece that the teachers are using, at least for me, when I walked through, was eye-opening and it was incredible. So I think that the things that you're touching are things that are not going to impact that level of technology that's really benefiting the teaching and learning piece that was at the top of your, 3-tier pyramid. So that was fantastic. With that, I'll just open up to other thoughts or questions from the board. Katie?
Thank you. Tim, thank you so much for this presentation. I really, really appreciate the way that you did this. The memo that's explaining the thought, the quick slide deck, the quick overview, and then the deep resources of the appendix is just perfect for this conversation, in my opinion. So thank you for that. I did want to go into just one question with the appendix. And again, I have to give you another shout out. I had a lot more questions and all but one of them were answered. So my one question for you was about the micro-credentialing. So in the appendix, it mentions that Darien is creating the micro-credentials ourselves. Is that right? DPS is going to create the teacher credential available to earn?
So I think from the role of technology plan, we're to find a system to support some of that use. However, what I would say is that it could be staff created in theory. Also, I would suggest that we could also use resources already created by other vendors. So for example, the ViewSonic view boards that are in place in school, that vendor has a particular great set of online self-paced tutorials that I think staff would want to access through that program.
Perfect. That was just my question.
Yeah.
If there was anything from an efficiency standpoint that we
Yeah,
might be
absolutely.
able to either adopt or adapt. So it sounds like that's the way you're thinking and looking at this.
Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of the software tools offer. some-
Fantastic. Thank you.
Other board questions? Joanna?
I wanted to ask about, so two things, but I'll just, the first one is, while we hear often about the problems when you bring home a Chromebook, I also hear a lot from the community that parents would like for their children not to even use the Chromebooks that much in the classroom. And I'm wondering what that looks like in middle school, where you have to learn how to be proficient before you get to the high school on Google Classroom. And, you know, do you have a plan for also the kids who already rely on the Chromebook to then go back to more paper and pencil?
So I think from one piece of it is the students are starting with Chromebooks in third grade. There's limited use. The screen time usage is not a concern of my point as far as the amount of time on use, but they start to learn a bit basically about managing the Chromebooks and accessing resources, managing their drives, starting in third grade up. And so by the time they get to sixth grade, they have a good sense of a background of using the device. Seventh and eighth grade students in middle school also have a dedicated computer integration course or class on computer science resources. So I know those two teachers dive a lot deeper. I don't foresee a students being at a disadvantage for the high school based on what the current practices are, or even pulling back. I think they're still going to be well prepared.
Other questions? Dave?
So thank you for this. I guess the only two questions. One was, I know we're talking about communications in here, and I know we're bringing on a communications consultant. So I just want to make sure we definitely have some flexibility as we move forward to do some integration between the IT plan and the communications people.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, cool. And then the other thing is just looking at some of the KPIs in here and some of the metrics. It just maybe some thoughts on actually looking what improvements are coming out of versus necessarily like counts of how many things we do. So would just like to see a little bit more clarity on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bill?
I follow up on Dave with communications. So my concern would be that when a teacher communicates with a student, that it's through some official channel where the district has a record. I think we already agreed on that.
Yes, we already have that. Yeah.
And then getting into the metrics, I read through all the goal areas that you had. It was thorough. I liked it. I have questions on pacing and I have questions on resources. So maybe we'll start with resources. And I'm coming at this from, we want to make sure that we resource you to do what you've set out to do.
Sure.
That we take a look at it and improve. So I'll pick on Dr. Fedigan, because her name as a responsible party is on almost everything. And I just wonder, like, unless she has some secret staff stashed away, how we're going to balance all these, for Dr. Fedigan. Dr. Fedigan is going to get overwhelmed with tasks. And how do we account for that? How do we make sure, expand purposeful and creative technology integration? She's a responsible party. Implement tiered micro-credentialing. She's a responsible party. Assistive technology. She's a responsible party. And it goes on and on and on. Are we taking a close look at that to make sure that, do you need more staff? Should we hire a consultant to help you and maybe outsource some of that? What can we do in-house? What should we go out of house on? I'm not looking for an answer right now, but just reading through it in detail. I just want to bring that up to you.
So what I'm hearing really actually is great support. So you're looking to help make sure we have what we need to put the plan in place, which is fantastic. Thank you so much for hearing that. I think for the vast majority of the focus areas, there's multiple responsible parties. So I put my name on quite a few of them as well. So I answer to and I support Dr. Fedigan in the work. So I think at this point, I don't have a clear sense that we'll need additional staffing or outside support to make the plan work. But I also want to emphasize, like I hinted to before, it's a big lift, some of these things, you know, especially Jeff's team for the work we have underway.
And you're probably not going to like this next comment, but yeah, I like the plan as laid out.
Yeah.
But I would press on the timeline for sooner rather than later. It's like micro-tiered, micro-credentialing, excuse me. We're talking about the metric to measure is in the 4th year. And that's 28 to 31, that time frame.
yes.
But we're designing the system and doing a pilot launch next year.
Right.
It just seems like a big gap. So I'm just curious about that. And I'm pressing you for maybe not now, but answers to think about later. And, you know, one that jumped out at me was multi-factor authentication for people. I mean, why would that take more than, you know, just a few weeks to implement?
We're ahead of schedule on that.
Okay.
So it was some of these goals, as far as the timeline, were developed, you know, a month or two ago, and Jeff is already fast forwarding multi-factor authentication. I think we still need to sort out a few different role areas, but we're ahead of pace on a few things. And I think that's one of the things you can expect. Like, for example, the one-to-one evaluation, we're a little bit ahead of pace on that right now. And partly I want to make sure we have cushion in case we need to make additional adjustments. Appreciate the concern with the timeline. I think if you look at the last appendix B, there's what I created is kind of a heat map. And one of the things I was afraid of was trying to do everything year one. So we try to pace some of that out a little bit. So there's some space in some of that for that, but there's no reason not to go faster when we can go faster.
Okay, good. I like the heat map. I like your thought about not putting it all in year one. Because sometimes if you give an engineer a problem, they'll tackle the easy stuff right off the bat and delay the harder stuff. And I see you're not doing that. So I do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you.
If you get it all done in a year, we'll get over it. That'll be okay, though.
Thank you. I read through it all, and it's thorough. I'm a little bit concerned that we resourced it appropriately.
Yes,
we also did commit when we talked about the strategic planning process that these will be living documents that are updated regularly, and that they're all in alignment with our operating standards that we presented as part of the budgeting process, and that will factor into our budget development process. So yeah, I would imagine when we look at this again next year, you'll see revisions of things that we've accomplished, things that we've shifted a bit, because they will be living documents.
That's great. Thank you.
Robin, did I see that you had your hand up?
Yes, sorry, I had to unmute. Thank you, Tim, for all of this. And I really appreciate how much work has gone into this. I think it's really a move in the right direction. I have a question mainly around middle school, to the extent that I want to understand a little better, or maybe you don't know at this point, what the impact would be on our resources, to the extent that we now use a lot of online resources through, for instance, Google Classroom. Are we going to need more textbooks or print resources for when they, you know, if they have homework that they have to take home? And that's just one question that I think I want to make sure that we as a board are funding what we need to in terms of our curriculum needs, et cetera.
Thank you. Yes. These are conversations we have been having.
But you don't have more detail on what the impact might be, or are we kind of in a good spot?
I'm tapping in the principal at the middle school who happens to be here. Thanks, Kate.
So we've been having quite a lot of conversations in this area over the last several months, as I alluded to when I was last here with you. You are correct that many of our resources right now are digital. And we have been talking about making sure that when we're using digital resources, it is purposeful. Anything that is replicatable on
paper, we're talking about printing instead of just doing it digitally, that where the handwriting makes sense, let's do the handwriting. Where the technology meaningfully amplifies the learning outcomes, let's use the learning outcomes. So I do think we'll see an increase in our printing volume. For example, you will can expect to see an increase in the number of printed materials your students are bringing home. Right now, I know our math textbooks, for example, we have a contract for a digital textbook. We also have several hard copies available. So we'll be able to provide that resource where we need to supplement. I think we will, over the next couple of years, probably have conversation. I don't want to say a time frame. I believe we will continue to look at what the right curriculum resources are as we make this shift. And we will certainly share updates through the budget process and the curriculum revision process as we do that. It's a big change for our teachers. And we're asking for them to really reconsider what the most effective strategies are and when the best time to use that device for their teaching and learning is, so that it's not just the homework that we're seeing the change, it's the screen time throughout the whole day.
And we have go ahead, Robin, I'm sorry.
Just one follow-up question. Also, the digital portfolios, which I understand is also a state requirement, but it's, I guess, K through 12. So to the extent that, for instance, in middle school, we might be doing more on paper as opposed to digital. That's just one question in terms of the digital artifacts that they would need to start to build for the grades 5 through 8. And I know that's kind of a longer term part of your plan, but that's just also something that I was interested in, kind of how you would envision that working.
Amy and I are looking at each other to see who's going to do.
Thank you for raising that, Robin. So that is legislated, and it's just the right thing to do, because when we think about student success planning, it is really all about kids, much of what you heard tonight about their internships, really thinking about career interests and inventories to know what they might want to pursue beyond their experience in Darien Public Schools. And that should start younger in 5th and 6th grade. And so just earlier today, Kate and I were having a conversation with Tim and Kathy Oster and Mrs. Dunn. And what we were talking about is really that work is going to coincide with the work that we're doing in curriculum revision and writing. And there are many existing tasks and experiences that students have within the current curriculum where we can select opportunities for students to call from so that they can identify, for example, something that might happen in a civics class, right? Every student has to take a civics credit in their time in high school in the state of Connecticut. So that there might be an opportunity there within the curriculum to pull from. So I think that on balance, we'll be able to identify those opportunities even in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade with a modified use of the Chromebook, so that we're really wisely, again, like Mr. McGuire said, choosing how we're using the Chromebook and when we're using the device. So I don't see that will interrupt at all. What we're doing, the students are already using Naviance very well, and that's the container that we have for the student success portfolios. We already budget for that in district, and our staff and students are already well versed in using it.
Great, thank you.
And I will say just, we will be sending out a communication later this week to our K-8 families, just making them aware of this change, and we'll be linking this presentation in the community update on Friday. There will be much more detail by school principals as we get closer to the start of next school year, explaining all of the details and the final plans that we'll be making over the summer with the new models.
With that communication, just thinking about like how that's going to go out to the families and some of the potential questions that families and maybe issues that we've kind of been talking about here. How are we going to try to preemptively address some of those issues?
Yeah, we're trying to cover as much as possible, as clearly as possible in the initial communication, but then there'll be much more detail come August as we get, because this time of year is the worst time of year for folks to retain the information. Yeah. So we're going to lead with the major impact of the story and the changes, and note that the details will follow later on in the summer.
Makes sense. Robin?
Just one, on that note, I think the communication to families also should address, to your point, I think, Greg, that parents would not need to purchase a device for their middle school children, that the school will provide whatever homework assignments, et cetera, that would be take home, would not necessarily require use of a computer or a family computer? And I guess that might be a question that parents would have for middle school in particular.
Noted.
Thank you.
Other questions? Joanna?
Just to sort of actually piggyback off what Robin was saying with the digital portfolios, there's several things in the technology plan that talk about in varying degrees, K through 12 frameworks, programs, project building. So if you could maybe in the future give us a memo when more of this is developed in a granular way about what it looks like in kindergarten, versus what it looks like in sixth grade versus what it looks like in ninth through 12th still has the one-to-one, bring your own device,
Yes.
correct? Yes.
Yes.
So just so we can understand, what that looks like rather than, this is great detail, but some of it is contradictory on its face. And I know that everyone's thought about it a lot more. So when you have
We
those-
certainly
that would be
can do
great.
that. It's not eliminating the use of technology in school. It's just
Right.
being very purposeful about when and how we use the technology. So at the middle school, there will still be plenty of devices in the schools for classes to use regularly. As there will be in the elementary schools, it's just a very thoughtful approach to, one, certainly the access and what is available to kids K to 5, and even in the middle school, and how frequently we're using these devices.
Right.
So yes, we could certainly do that.
Great, because I think also that would answer some parents' concerns, well, the computers, the Chromebook is still, available at school all day long, especially in, the middle school and upper elementary grades. What does that look like? Is my
Mhm.
kid not bringing it home, but still on it all day? So just to give more clarity, I think would be very helpful for the community.
Well, they
Thank you.
definitely will not be on it all day.
Right.
That we can assure you.
Yeah, but I agree, Joanna. The deliberate and intentional approach that you guys are taking is, I think that's a great approach. And getting some, I don't know if it's a summary document of like why you're doing what you're doing and here's why, the rationale for some of this stuff. Like I even saw like AI is embedded within a lot of this. Like what's our strategy? How are we doing it? What's the thought process for how it's included in our educational process is going to be, those are important topics for us to understand and give you feedback on as a board. Any other thoughts, questions? Excellent. Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you all.
Okay, next up, may I have a motion to amend the agenda to add the approval of the Darien Board of Education paraprofessional instructional aides and campus monitors union contract agreement, the Darien Board of Education Secretaries Union Contract Agreement, and the Darien Registered Nurses Association Contract Agreement. I see Dave, seconded by Dennis.
We're amending to add the contracts
Right.
the contracts they were ratified.
Okay.
After the agenda was published on Friday.
We can open up, so we got two, we can open up for questions and discussions, and then we can vote. Dave,
Well, I judge, we all vote.
you're voting. I was just, it sounded like there was, it sounded like there were some questions. We got two, so typically you can open up for questions. Joanna, if there was a question.
And I was just wondering,
The process.
yes,
yeah.
thank you. And
So
you
the
were
contracts were
ratified.
ratified after the initial agenda was published. And so we needed to add it onto the agenda, knowing that it was ratified by the units themselves. So they voted earlier this week and successfully. And this is the agreements that we reviewed with the board several weeks ago.
Other questions? Okay, all in favor?
Wait, I have a
Oh,
question.
Joanna, sorry?
Not related to
Too-
that.
too quick?
Sorry. Just in the personnel report, I noticed that we are adding 0.6 FTE for.
Sorry, we're not there yet.
We'll get
This is
Yeah,
just
well-
an amendment to
This is
this
just
one.
amendment.
Oh, to amend, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, just, so, all right, so we will go
I
to
skipped it.
all in favor on the amendment. It looks like unanimous. Thank you. So we'll go through them one by one. May I have a motion to approve the contract agreement between the Darien Board of Education and the Darien Board of Education Paraprofessional Instructional Aides and Campus Monitors Union for the period July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. Dave, seconded by Dennis. Open to questions and conversation. All those in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. Next up, may I have a motion to approve the contract agreement between the Darien Board of Education and the Darien Board of Education Secretaries Union for the period July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029? Dennis, seconded by Bill. All those in favor? That is unanimous. And this will be the last one of those. May I have a motion to approve the contract agreement between the Darien Board of Education, the Darien Registered Nurses Association for the period July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029? Dennis, seconded by Dave. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, next up is the consent agenda. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Jonathan Dunn, seconded by Dennis. I'll just read the items of the consent agenda, the approval of the May 26th minutes, the proposed Darien High School field trip, special field trips, the World Language International field trip to Ecuador and the Galapagos, Orchestra International field trip to Bermuda, the Barbara Harrington Fund Grant, the committee reports, and the personnel report. Open to questions. Joanna?
So on the personnel report, I noticed that we are adding a 0.6 FTE for French at the middle school. And at the same time, one of our Mandarin teachers has resigned at the middle school. I'm wondering, are any of these programs over or undersubscribed? Do we anticipate this is a regular, person leaving? We'll be filling that back in?
So the board approved a 0.4 additional French teacher in the budget. Then there was an overage this year, so that's why it's a 0.6 total.
Okay.
We are seeing a drop in Mandarin, and because of some amazing French teachers at the middle school, the program is growing. So we watch every year, and we'll try to make the necessary moves each year.
Any other topics? Bill?
I just had a question on the field trips. They sound wonderful trips. We sure we don't need to send a board member along? But is there, so I'm going to ask a question. Do we have a policy where we help subsidize students, or is it strictly voluntary?
I don't think we have a policy, but I think there is a practice for Ellen, if you wouldn't mind joining us, Ms. Dunn, for students for subsidizing or students that require
assistance.
There is scholarship available for students.
And who funds that?
Some of it comes out of our student activities funds that remain unused from the previous year. Mr. Rudel rolls over some of those extra funds in the student activities account, and then it can be applied to student scholarships for a variety of things.
And does the CD, I'm just curious, does the CDSP have any role in assisting with that?
Not typically with field trips, but with many, many other gifts to the schools.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm just curious about how we handled some sensitive topics like that. Okay. Thank you.
Other topics? Okay. All in favor of approving the consent agenda? That is unanimous. Follow-up action items. I don't think we have any.
No.
Great. Public comment.
Good evening. To participate in public comment, please approach the podium and wait to be recognized. Once recognized, please state your name and town of residence and note that you'll have up to 3 minutes to comment. We have no public comment at this time.
Thank you. I have a motion to adjourn the meeting. David, second by Dennis.